Hey guys, what's going on? James here. We're back with yet another video of 5 players to look out for the preseason Week 4 game versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, this is the game where the starters are pretty much not playing at all, so we won't be seeing a lot of guys like Jameis Winston, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Peyton Barber, Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson, Levante David, Gerald McCoy, among others. So this is a very big opportunity for some of these backup guys to either cement their roles or to make a case to make the roster, and we have a lot of stuff to go over here in terms of backup players. So the first group of players that I want to name is Sean Wilson, Dare Ogunbowale, and Ronald Jones. Now, Ronald Jones, the first guy I want to talk about, is his position on the team is not in jeopardy. He's not going to get cut. Nothing bad's going to happen to Ronald Jones. But he does have a very unique opportunity here, same with like maybe Jaquiz Rodgers, where he is going to be getting a lot more touches than he has these past couple of preseason games, which is very, very good because, again, recently, these past 3 preseason games, I haven't been impressed with Ronald Jones. Now, you can break it down with your advanced statistics if you want to and say, oh, well, it's this, this, and this, whatever the reason. He hasn't looked good with the football in his hands that much lately. He had a really nice 40-yard grab last game, which is great, and I want to see more of that. I want to see more explosive plays from Ronald Jones as a receiving back, as a running back, and I want him to continue to improve on this momentum that he got from the last game, especially now considering he's going to be getting hopefully so many carries in this game. He needs to take advantage of that opportunity and really get some momentum building in his favor. Then you move on to guys like Sean Wilson and Dare Ogunbowale, which again, these guys are still battling for a roster spot. The Buccaneers did sign Dante Dye, another running back, and a long snapper in, I think they signed they signed a wide receiver, a running back, and a long snapper. If I'm being honest, none of those guys are really going to factor into this equation for these position battles, but Sean Wilson and Dare, they've been going at it, ever since Sean Wilson got on and I think Dare got on, and then they've just been going at it. So far, the first 2 preseason games, Dare Ogunbowale looked good. This past preseason game, Sean Wilson looked good. So now it's kind of down to this 4th preseason game. Who's going to take advantage? Who's going to separate themselves from the other one and potentially make this roster, especially with Charles Sims being on the injured reserve due to injury? One of these guys has to take advantage and possibly make this roster, and that's definitely going to be something to look out for because they're going to be getting a lot of opportunities in this game because the starters aren't playing. So that should be pretty good. The next group that I want to talk about is actually the backup offensive line, the guys who are going to be, hopefully opening up holes for these running backs. So that's Mike Lidke, some other backups like Brad Seaton, Cole Bouger, Evan Smith, Alex Kappa. These are a couple of the guys who have been on this backup offensive line so far this year. And they've had some ups and they've had some downs. I thought that for what it's worth, especially considering how they've had a lot of guys banged up, Leonard Wester, Cole Bouger, Caleb Benenocht's been banged up a little bit, among a couple of other guys. I thought that the backup offensive line has done a pretty well job in terms of pass protection. In terms of run protection, they haven't been doing good. So I want to see these backup offensive linemen come out there, provide better openings for the running back so we can actually see what they can do. And I want to just see them provide better blocking in general. Again, pass blocking, I think the backup offensive line did a pretty decent job. But run blocking is where the problem lies. And I need to see them do a little bit better. Hopefully we get a couple of guys back healthy. And right now, some of our backup positions are just a toss-up right now. We haven't seen Leonard Wester play in a while, and Mike Lidke's actually been doing a pretty decent job of things. So does that mean he's going to be the backup left tackle? Is Brad Seaton going to be making this roster as the backup right tackle? Or are they going to go with Cole Gardner? Where does a guy like Adam Geddes fit in? Which, by the way, I love Adam Geddes. Shout out to Adam Geddes if he ever watches this video. I freaking love that guy. I think Adam Geddes is going to make the roster. I love Adam Geddes. He's a great man. But anyway, the point is that, a lot of these backup positions are up for grabs. You got to assume that Evan Smith's probably the backup center, but Lidke's looked good. Geddes has looked really good. Brad Seaton's looked pretty good in the limited time he's had, and Alex Kappa's looked good as well. So, who knows? Because you have some returning guys like Leonard Wester. You have Cole Gardner who's coming back. So how's that going to shake up? I think a lot of these questions will be answered in this last preseason game. The next group I want to talk about is Noah Spence and Will Clark. Specifically Noah Spence, more so Will Clark. But for this, it's rough, right? Because a lot of people have been crapping on Noah Spence. We went from Noah Spence has got this amazing potential. You know, he's going to be great. He's going to be wonderful. Now people are telling me that he's a potential cut. I don't believe that. He's making this team 110%. He's making this team. But I've said this week in and week out now, he needs to improve. He needs to start finishing on these plays. He needs to start getting sacks. I know I sound like a broken record for most of these things, but it still is the case. From week to week, Spence hasn't shown much improvement in the way of, you know, he can get to the quarterback and he can make pressures, but he won't get the sack. I need to start seeing more of that again. He'll probably be getting a lot of playing time, so hopefully he just takes the most advantage of this opportunity and starts building some more momentum for himself. Same with Will Clark. I think Will Clark's going to be making this roster, and I've been pretty impressed with Will Clark so far. I think he's doing a pretty decent job, but he also needs to improve. Fun fact, he was our sack leader for defensive ends last year, so that was pretty fun. But yeah, both those guys need to have big games to just kind of cement themselves in this pass rushing rotation, and they don't get lost in the shuffle and whatnot. And I guess you could throw William Golson in there as well, because Will Golson, he's going to be moving into defensive tackle a lot too, especially considering how the Bucs, they're really banged up at defensive tackles. We're going to be seeing Will Golson, newly signed defensive tackle Jarrell Worthy, Devontae Lambert. These are all guys to keep an eye out as well. The next group that I want to talk about is the wide receiver position, and really sad news, Sergio Bailey, I think he either dislocated or fractured his ankle or something before the game even started versus the Detroit Lions the other week. So he's on the injured reserve. He's going to be redshirted. I hope he comes back and is able to play next year. I don't think he'd be an injured reserve to return candidate, so they bring him back after 8 weeks. I don't think he's going to be in that category. But, you know, that as unfortunate that is, you know, Freddie Martino, Bobo Wilson, they're pretty much the last two guys. You know, I don't really think Bernard Reedy has a shot anymore to make this roster. Maybe as a return man, but he had a couple of really bad drops last game. I think that pretty much put the final nail in that coffin. And with Sergio Bailey gone now, at least for the year, again, hopefully he comes back next season and is able to be a productive wide receiver. It's pretty much down to Bobo Wilson and Freddie Martino. Dante Dye was signed, and I love Dante Dye, but I don't think he's going to be doing anything for us. So who do you pick? Do you pick the Freddie Martino, who's the reliable veteran, who's shown to have some good things in some regular season games, and is, you know, he's a pretty reliable option. He kind of fits the mold of what the Bucs like to do at wide receiver, these kind of big, all-around balanced wide receivers. Or do you go with the younger, more shifty, or more versatile option in Bobo Wilson, who they've seen, you know, be using in end arounds as a returner? He had some more value to that than maybe Bobo Wilson, or than maybe Freddie Martino would, you know, and he's a little bit younger, so he has more time to grow and develop, and he's been having a lot of momentum. He had a lot of momentum going his way at the start of the offseason. Now that's kind of like gone off the wayside a little bit. He didn't get any action last game. Martino at least got a really nice touchdown grab, but he had a bad drop as well. So these two guys are definitely going to be getting a lot of playing time, along with Justin Watson. But I need to see Bobo Wilson and Freddie Martino, because, like, if there's a situation where one of them does really good and the other one doesn't do anything this upcoming game, that might spell who's going to make the roster and who isn't. And I know that's like, oh, James, that's extreme, but it might be, man. I'm sure that the coaching staff likes a couple of these guys a lot, so you never know. That definitely could signify which one makes the roster and which one doesn't, depending on who has the better game and by how much they have a better game. So that's definitely something to look out for. And then finally, last thing I want to talk about is the safeties, okay? Chris Conte, Keith Tandy, Jordan Whitehead, Justin Evans, Isaiah Johnson, Josh Robinson, 6 safeties. Godwin Igwebuike, I said it wrong, but whatever. 7 safeties, you know, and I'm sure I missed a safety or two. I'm so sorry if I missed you. But 7 safeties. And a lot of people have been showing concern about our safety position lately. You know, they say, like, we have a really big problem at safety. We need to do something to fix this problem. Let's bring in a free agent. Let's trade for somebody. Guys, if I'm being honest, I don't think they're going to bring in a free agent. I don't think they're going to trade for anybody just because last year they tried that and it didn't work. And I don't think they're going to try it this year just because they're pretty stubborn in their ways sometimes. But I need to see improvement. I know a lot of people last game, they were giving Chris Conte crap for the whole, well, he left a guy wide open down the field, and then the other side was, well, it wasn't Chris Conte's fault. Dirk Cutter came out and said that. I understand that, but the point still remains that I still need to see a little bit more from Chris Conte, because he's still looking pretty meh to me, and I need to see a little bit more out of Justin Evans. I mean, he's good, but he's had some good and some bad this preseason, if I'm being honest. You know, I like Justin Evans a lot. I think he's going to be a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful safety for us. But that other side of the safety position worries me. You know, what's going to happen? Is it going to be Chris Conte, who's meh? Is it going to be Keith Tandy, who they don't really trust to be a full-time starter ever? Or is it going to be Jordan Whitehead, who's had some good, and, you know, but he's still a rookie. He still has some growing pains. So what's going to happen with that other safety position? It's a question I have, and it's a question a lot of other people have had lately. And it's tough. It's tough. We might get an answer this upcoming preseason game. I think Whitehead has the opportunity to go and be that starter eventually, because Chris Conte isn't doing a whole lot to impress me. And I know the usual, oh, crap on Chris Conte, but I'm not saying I'm crapping on him. I don't hate Chris Conte. I think he's a fine guy. I think he's a fringe starter. But you can do better. You can definitely do better. You can do a lot worse than Chris Conte. You can do a lot better than Chris Conte. And I want to see some solidarity in that safety position for sure. So look out for all the safeties. Pick one that you like, you know, pick a specific one if you want to, you know, because honestly, they're going to be rotating a lot anyway, so who cares? But I do want to see some solidarity at that position moving forward. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. What are you guys looking out for preseason week 4? I know it's like kind of a blah game, but hey, whatever, you know, it's still fun. It's still football, you know, it should be fun. There's a lot of position battles that still need to be solved at running back, defensive line, backup offensive line, receiver, and safety, so you never know. But, yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. Go check out the Patreon. That'll be down in the description below. Go join the Facebook group and page and whatnot. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. It's a lot of fun. Next video is probably going to be a preview. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. But until then, goodbye for now, guys. See ya, and go Bucs.